Well, good evening. Just to wrap up the council meeting for Monday, March 24th, 2014 for the city of Grand Rapids. Work session this afternoon got a little bit long. We went into discussion around a communication specialist for the city, what that could prove as a benefit to the city. We talked about some stuff that was going to be on our regular agenda, and we thought it best to discuss it at council work session because it gives us a greater opportunity to have more of an open dialogue as it relates to the topics. There was the HVAC system at Central School and the benefits of upgrading and improving that system. The county tax forfeit property, which is out on Highway 2 as you head out of town, the impacts of that as we currently use it for some trails and stuff, and if the trails move off, could that tax forfeit land then become useful within the city? And then our park and trail plan, looking at what we're doing for a park and trail plan as we go forward. What happens with the current 23 parks, maybe some proposed parks, and as we look at upgrading some of those and our trails for motorized vehicles. Recreational and tourism is a huge component of the economy in Grand Rapids. So having a trail, upgraded trail plan that deals with motorized vehicles, whether it's ATVs or snowmobiles, can be very critical and important to the businesses within Grand Rapids. So what we did was we pulled that from our regular agenda, and next Monday, the 31st, which is the last day of the month, but probably the first day of winter, is the way it's been going around here. We will have that discussion to further go into our parks and trails and stuff. So, under council regular meeting, the consent agenda, we're already in the process of hiring some part-time employees at Park and Rec and out at the golf course. We moved forward and approved the Crystal Lake Boulevard projects. So as that come up, as you recall, 2 weeks ago, we only had 3 council members here, so we could not move forward with action on that proposal as it takes a 4/5 council vote to approve that. So with the full council here this evening, we did approve those projects, and you'll see that coming along. We had a department head this evening, Rob Matei from Community Development. For those that are wondering how the city of Grand Rapids is doing, we're moving along greatly. We've had a lot of commercial, government, and residential development. I believe about $18 million worth of projects this year. Second best year that we have ever had. The first best being in 2007 when we built the new Walmart store came into town. So from that standpoint, we're doing great in residential homes and apartment buildings. There's still a lot of work to do, and the council will continue to work hard supporting new business growth within Grand Rapids because, as we all know, Kmart is going out at some point in time. It's going to open up a big box that potentially something could come in there, and we will be supportive on whatever that is that would come in there at some point in time. Library, Marcia Anderson came in and asked for some replacements of the library chiller. The question was asked, what about that old chiller? You know, why is it needing replacement when the library is technically not that old? Well, whether the chiller was bad or whatever the reason, the equipment's gone, it needs to be replaced. We approved $73,000 to replace that chiller. Chief Denny was in, talked about a new proposal that's going to be out there. Police department is going to be providing security for Grand Itasca Hospital and Clinic. It's unfortunate and sad that we need to provide security and stuff for employees out there, but we have not only the residents of Grand Rapids and the surrounding area. We need to look out for their safety, but we need to look out for the safety of 600 plus employees at Grand Itasca Hospital and Clinic. So with that, it's becoming a common occurrence across the state of Minnesota in hospitals that they have upgraded security to address the issues that might arise during the day and stuff. So we are in a joint venture with the hospital and clinic to provide those services. Also this evening, we authorized the chief to start staffing and moving our staffing levels to the 20 police officers that we had discussed at some point in time a month or so back. As we look at the growth of Grand Rapids from the standpoint of annexation, even though we're not looking at any additional annexation, the number of calls we're having on the at the staffing levels that we were at warrants and justifies the request that the PD had for going up to 20 officers so we can have full crews out there and not be looking at constantly having to ask the Highway Patrol or the Sheriff's Department if you got somebody in the area that could support us on a call that might be a little more hazardous. We are hiring a new person in our accounting and finance, Renee Patro. She'll be starting April 14th. So we look forward to seeing Renee come on board. We had an open position there that was filled, and now that person left to take a job back where he had been. So it opened up that finance position, and we're happy to be restaffed starting April 14th at the full amount. City Hall, as we require people out in the community to do, that if they need to be compliant with the Disabilities Acts from accessibility, the city should not be exempt from that. So we've been working on our facilities to make sure that we're compliant with the ADA standards. The last couple of pieces that we needed on the city side to address was this building and the fire hall. The bathrooms came in. We're looking at some additional work in them bathrooms. So we were, I believe, at about $17,000 for that project, and there was some additional work that needed. So we authorized that project to go up about $5,800, up to $22,876. We had 3 public hearings this evening, all of them looking at the vacation of portions of whether it be a platted alley, some right-of-ways for another alley out in Roy's Acres. The first one was across the Globe Drug or under Globe Drug. If you go back to 1893, and if you had been watching it on TV, I think you saw that at one point in time in 1893, where Globe Drug, there used to be a little creek that ran down through there and went to the river. That no longer is there. It's been filled in, but there had been an alley platted under what is a current building. So it really does not make sense to have an alley under there, but it had not been cleaned up, or it had been cleaned up, but they couldn't find it at the county level. And with the sale of that business, it only makes sense to make that sale work and go forward as it should, that needed to be changed. So we took care of that housekeeping piece this evening for Globe Drug. We took care of the street and alley right-of-way for the Roy's Acre property, and then we did the one for Kearney's First Edition to Grand Rapids and vacating a piece out on what is currently the Itasca County Fairgrounds. As you know, the city of Grand Rapids had easement rights across, if you extended 14th Street all the way across the Midway over to Fairgrounds Road, and then halfway up about where the current fishing pier is, there was platted to have a easement across, straight across from there over to Fairgrounds Road. We did away with those because there is a plan in place with Crystal Lake Boulevard that we will have that roundabout, and that will be cleaned up at that point in time. This was just some, once again, some housekeeping to take care of that between the city of Grand Rapids and the county. We will only wait on that to make sure that we have everything in place so that when we look at the infrastructure improvements that you'll see out there, all those overhead cables and stuff will end up eventually being buried. You know, we're looking at the roundabout, some walls, some beautification projects out there, some holding ponds. I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised when they take a look when this project is done prior to the car show coming up in July and the fair in August. Hopefully everything, or not hopefully, we will have these projects completed on time within the budget so that those can proceed as they had planned. They're great tourist attractions. That car show brings a lot of folks into town, so we will be sure, and Julie Kennedy, our city engineer, is going to be on top of this as we work through, and I'm understanding from discussions a couple of weeks ago that she will be out there giving some regular community updates throughout the course of the project, so people will be advised at where we are and making sure that that is on time to address and to be ready for the car show and the county fair coming up in August. With that, we look forward to seeing you. It's actually 3 weeks. There's an extra week in here, so we look forward to seeing you again on April 14th for the first meeting of the Grand Rapids City Council in April. Thanks.